So here's our corn haul from over at Roscoe's house. We just went and picked it all, and now we gotta preserve it. Welcome back to the farm, everybody. Today is corn day. So we're gonna get all this corn preserved up. I think this year we're just gonna can it, and I'll show you guys how we do it here at Gagne Farms. But first we've got to get all this corn shucked. And what better place to do it than right on top of the compost. That's right. We get to shuck our corn, throw the husks on the compost pile, and we don't have a mess in the kitchen or up by the barn or anywhere else. So let's get shucking this corn.
Of course, we're gonna have chicken visitors now.
Kind of dodging rainstorms here, aren't we?
Yeah.
It was starting to spit again on us. All right, we got our corn all shucked. We're gonna pull up to the other big door here of the barn, and we're gonna wash some of this stuff up, and then we're gonna start cutting this corn. This is typically my job, to cut the kernels off of the cob. Oh.
Did you get it in the eye?
Yeah. It's actually faster to just cut it like this. I've tried other ways of getting the kernels off the cob, and it's better just to use a knife and start cutting. So we're gonna get through all this corn, and then I think we're gonna start canning this up, right, Candace?
Yep.
Just got done cutting all the kernels off the cob, and this is why you do this outside, because otherwise it would be all over your whole kitchen if you were to do this inside. We got quite a bit here. It always looks like there's a lot more when it's on the cob, but nonetheless, we're gonna can this up, and we're actually gonna can this into quarts. I ran out of pint jars, so we sometimes use this as Candace will make 2 pint jars. Jeez, I got corn flinging off me.
You're flinging it everywhere.
Sometimes Candace uses more than 1 pint at a time, so we're gonna do this into quart jars today, and we're gonna go get this canned up. Pretty easy process here, guys. We just got a pot of boiling water and our corn, and we're just gonna dump this pot of boiling water right into our corn. Like to give this a good stir, and we're just gonna let this set here for a minute. This is basically doing the blanching process here for us right now. You guys might be asking yourself, hey, that doesn't look like very much corn for all the corn you had in the picture. Well, we actually ate a lot of this corn as fresh eating. That's the best way to eat it, actually. So it was good corn, and this is what we got left, and this is what we're canning. We got a couple quart jars here. We're gonna pack these jars up and get them on the canner. Oops. Wipe these rims down. All right, let's get these guys out to the canner. We got our canner all loaded up and on. Everything's going here. Now with the quart jars, they take an hour and 25 minutes to process. So we're just gonna let that go, and I wanted to let you guys know that if you want to see a better how-to video of exactly how we do the corn here at Gagne Farms, I'll link a couple videos down below. I'll try to tag one up here for you as well, and you guys can check those out and get a more in-depth explanation and recipe as to how we do this right down to a T. We're gonna let this guy process, and I'll keep you updated along the way. Canner's done. We've got 1 hour and 25 minutes on these guys. I'm gonna shut it down, let it decompress, and we're gonna pull these cans of corn out. Our canner has decompressed. I'm taking the weight off. We're gonna pop this guy and see what these guys look like here. Oh yeah, baby. Awesome.
Ooh, it smells good. It smells like popcorn.
Kind of does smell like popcorn.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to get these guys out of here. And don't touch them. Don't mess with them for 24 hours. Look at that. Excellent.
You know Eric's spiel. Don't touch them. Don't breathe on them. Don't look at them. 24 hours.
I'm going to say Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, and a random day. Got our corn out of the canner. We are going to start preserving the next item on the list. Today we got to start tearing into these tomatoes. We've got so many bags in the freezer that I can't fit any more tomatoes in there, and I still got tomatoes coming in out of the garden that are ripe and need to go in the freezer. So I got 4 bags out today, and these have been thawing. They are thawed, and we're gonna pinch the skins here, put them into our saucepan. These are just for the skins, and then we're gonna sauce these guys up. We got to start on them. I've got 5 more bags out in the freezer. I've got another 5 bags ready to go in the freezer. And I probably got 5 more bags out in the garden that need to be taken care of right now. So let's get going on this. Pretty simple process, guys. Just pinch those skins. Usually do it over the pan like this. Now just repeat this process 7,000 times. We got Candace helping out here. She's pulling some of these skins off too. I got about halfway done, and I just got my pan on the stove. I just turned it on. I want to get these guys going here quick. We're going to add to it. Probably going to have to get a second pan going on the stove, which is fine. But I wanted to weigh these up too. We just weighed what I've got. So 2 bags full without the skins was about 12 pounds. And I just kind of try to keep a running tally throughout the year so I know next year, you know, how much I need to plant. Just finished up here getting all the skins off these guys. I got 2 pans and we weighed everything up. And we had a grand total without the skins on, 28 pounds of tomatoes. We're gonna let these 2 pans simmer here and get going and get a nice boil going. These things have boiled down quite a bit. We've got about good 2 inches or so out of that pan of the water that was in these tomatoes. So now we're gonna take our immersion blender, and you gotta be careful at this point because this stuff's still boiling. But we're gonna blend this stuff up real good and get it into sauce. Oh yeah, make sure when you start your immersion blender, make sure it's in the tomatoes before you turn it on. Ah, that's hot. We got everything blended up, and I actually got to combine everything into one pan. So we're gonna let this go for a little bit. I've got our jars in the dishwasher here that we're gonna use to jar all this stuff up. And once the jars are done in the dishwasher, This stuff's pretty good and thick, so I think we're gonna can this stuff up. We got our sauce done. I just hit it one more time with the immersion blender just to kind of mix everything up really good. We got our quart jars, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice per jar. Fill our jars, wipe our rims, put our lids on, and we're gonna get them in the canner. About an inch of headspace and move on to the next jar. Got our canner all boiling. We're gonna take the lid off and we're gonna get these guys down. This is our first batch. I got 6 quarts here and we're gonna have to do 2 batches today. That lid back on. So once these guys get going back up to a nice rolling boil here, we are going to let these process for 40 minutes. And we'll pull them out, let them rest, and we'll flip this canner over. All right. Time's up on these guys. We're going to pull this batch of sauce out right here, and then we're going to go inside and get the second batch ready to go. See what one of these guys looks like. Oh yeah, look at that. Fantastic. All right, we're going to put these guys down. There we go. Second batch ended up being just 2 quarts and a pint. A little less than I had anticipated, but nonetheless, we're putting her in the canner eventually. Get that handle up right there. All right. Gonna let these guys go for another 40 minutes in here. In the meantime, getting this grill all fired up because it's time for some hamburgers. Because I'm hungry. It's been a long day. It's been a long weekend. Out of this batch, we ended up with 8 quarts and a pint. What I have in the freezer right now is another 2 batches like this. So we would end up with right around 24 quarts, maybe 25 quarts, pint or so here or there. So that's really good. I've got more that's curing out on the table. I've got a whole bunch more tomatoes in the garden. They're all looking really good. They're coming in right on time. And this is just the start of canning the tomatoes right now. This is something I have to do over a couple 3 weekends here to keep up on. That's what we're doing. I will take you more in depth. Next video that we do with the tomatoes, see a little bit more how-to style of video. I'm going to do a couple different things too. I've got, I think we're going to be doing a few different varieties of this. So I'll take you along with that and I'll explain a lot more later. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us this weekend and checking out what we've been doing. We've been doing corn this weekend. We got our first round of tomatoes done. So I appreciate it. You guys keep sticking around. I got lots more for you. We'll catch you on the next one.